Second gen business? Set for life? This is Mission Unite, no bullshit business. Hi, welcome to Mission Unite. Here, we uncover the no bullshit stories from successful individuals and ignite your dreams to success. Today, we have a very special guest on our podcast, someone who embodies resilience, leadership, and the spirit of entrepreneurship. Wayne, he is the second generation of Leck, a company that has a very rich legacy that has made its mark in the industry. As a general manager, Wayne has taken the helm of the family business, navigating through challenges, embracing change, and steering the company towards new heights. With a deep understanding of what it means to uphold a legacy while driving innovation, in this episode, Wayne is going to share with us his journey from the struggles to the setbacks, as well as the strategies that lead him to climb back to success. He's going to offer valuable insights, lesson learned, as well as lots of words of encouragement to inspire the next generation of entrepreneurs. So without further ado, let's dive into the story of Wayne and discover what it takes to turn obstacles into opportunities. Welcoming Wayne!
Hello.
Hi, thank you Wayne for coming to our show.
Thank you for having me.
That's it. Can you kind of tell our audience, right, a little bit about yourself, right, and what's your role, right, at Leck?
Right. So hi everyone. I'm Wayne here from Leck Engineering. Our company specializes in manufacturing of the air ventilation ductworks. Right. So we are dealing with air. So in business for 30 over years. My role with the company, I'm the general manager. So in charge of various departments, but mainly in the sales and operations department to link these two sectors together so that they are in sync, and whatever the customer wants, we are able to fabricate, we are able to manufacture, and whatever we are able to do, the customer will know our capabilities.
So Leck is a very interesting name, right? What does it stand for? Or is it just a name?
Right, Tilison. So Tilison asked a very good question. Leck in Chinese, actually in Chinese it's called Bao Li. Bao is contain, Li is energy. So in Chinese is contain the energy.
Right. Wow, that's very interesting. So to our audience out there, in case you don't know, right, he is the second generation. He took over this business from his dad, right? Is that right?
Yes, I would say learning along the way. Yeah.
So what is it like, growing up in a family business environment, right? And is there at any point in time, right, you know that throughout your whole study journey that you confirm will join the company?
Right. So see, when I was young, I actually never foresee myself to be in this industry. So when we were younger, I mean, we were brought to the factory to play in a way where we just run around, mingle around, and to spend our childhood there. So of course, along the way, after I graduated, I decided to join the family business because to me, it may sound cliche, but to me, it's the it's the company that provided for us when we were younger.
Right.
And so when I graduated, when I grew up, I just thought that it's just right that I come back and contribute and see how I can further improve the company and processes.
Pretty much the company is like a family, right, in this case.
Yes, in a way.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about Leck and his history, right? If we were to look at the history itself, it's quite a long history, right? And what set this company apart from this current industry?
That's a very good question. So every company has their unique selling point. So how we started was, because in this industry, there is like rectangular shapes and round shapes, ductworks. So how we started...
And these are all your air ducts up there for aircon and things like that, right?
Yes, so for the air to flow and all that. So different shapes really depends on the requirement of the building. And how we started off was during the 80s, during last century, in the 20th century, right, 30 years ago, we started, we focused on these round ducts because in the industry, there were not a lot of companies doing that. Right. So that is our unique selling point at that point in time. And so, we were sort of like the market leader for this round shaped duct back then. And we also provided delivery service, while others, they don't. Right. So that differentiated us then. 30 years ago.
Wow.
Right.
So maybe 30 years ago, people order, they had to go to the factory to collect and then go to the construction site.
Yes, you're right.
Wow.
So because 30 years back then, I mean the way in this industry to operate is that they can provide you a very low price, but you have to have your own delivery fleet. You do self-collection. So that was the industry norm back then.
Okay.
And just now Tilly asked how we differentiated ourselves back then. Yeah, so these were the two, I would say, differentiating factors. Then moving on, moving on so many years later now, we actually manufacture a range of products. So other than just the ventilation systems, we also do like metal structures.
Right.
And other than metal structures, we also have a range of accessories that's related to this mechanical and engineering sector. So we were like a one-stop supplier for all these items.
I see. So the industry changes, right, as Poly was founded. And then the company actually adapted, adding all the new components, right, that helps. So they keep it as a one-stop center. Right? And was this during your time where you actually went to the company, or it was already way before that?
I would say way before that. So it was during the year like early 2000, right? Early 2000, because it started in 1987, 88,
Right.
that period. So it's only early 2000s where we start to incorporate more product and services in our offering to make us more competitive in a way and more and offers a more holistic solution in this sector.
Right. So now I'm curious, because we talk about the products. Let's talk about the culture in Poly, because it's many years, it's 35, 36 over years, more than that, right? Thereabout. So I'm sure the culture has evolved, right? But what I'm curious, right, is that in the 11 years that you're in the company, how has the culture changed?
Right. So I think there are two parts to the question. So the company culture itself, maybe I share a fun fact with you that more than half of our staff in our company, they are with our company for average of more than 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Wow.
So I mean, that's what usually I share with HR managers, human resource managers, is that you look at the staff. Do they leave is there a high turnover, right?
Yes.
Then you can the company culture speaks for itself.
Yeah.
With the staff turnover, right? So that's the first fun fact.
Right.
And throughout the 11 years that I'm with the company, I would say it has become, I would say, stronger, right? Better in a way, because we go with this open door policy where anyone with any issues, they can look for even myself directly without like going through the chain of command, which will slow down the process.
Right.
So one example is that we hear our staff feedback from them is that with inflation, everything is getting more expensive. So usually we do have a cap on per receipt of the medical claim that they have, and we increase by 10%. So we increase the limit they can claim by 10% to take into account of the inflation and to also help our staff to better manage the living costs.
Right, I see. Wow. So that's about Poly itself. Now I'm curious about you yourself as an individual, right? With your involvement, right, in the company, right? So can you share with us, right? How do you start off your whole journey, right, to where you are today, right, as a general manager?
Right. So I started off as I would say project engineer, where I really do go to the job site to view the place, to communicate with clients, to understand the requirement, get your hands dirty. Yeah, being really hands-on.
That's the fastest way to learn, right?
Yes. If you just do this paper game, board game table, you don't really get the feel.
Yeah. Especially the guys on the ground, you don't see the actual thing that's happening.
Yes, yeah, right. So that's where I started, and of course, after a few years, then I move on to more of like a sales portion, right, where I do with the quotations, understanding the costing, the sales element that's involved, right? Then after with the sales department, then I move on to my current role where I really oversees the operations and the sales to ensure that they are in sync.
Yeah. So I'm curious, it sounds like you are there for 11 years. What is your most proud moment or milestone?
Proudest moment, of course I do have, and also I do make mistakes. Everyone do, and
yes.
we learn from mistakes. Proudest moment, I would say it's during my third year of the company. We managed to complete a few million dollar worth of this project with a semiconductor company. Right. So I was in charge of doing up the quotation, negotiating with client, and of course executing, and finally concluding this project. And ultimately, we have a happy customer.
Yeah. So I'm curious, if the viewers out there, right, in case you're wondering, right, the way Wayne speaks, right, is so passionate, right, about the company, right? So I'm very, very curious, why? Why are you so passionate about the company? What's this one aspect, right, that you are particularly passionate about?
I would say this may not be a sexy industry. For me, we are boring, but we are boring industry, but we are sexy in a way because we are indispensable, right? Because you see, we deal with air, and everyone breathe in air and breathe out air as well, right? So yeah, you will need us no matter where you are, right? As long as we are all living.
Yes, that's right. Right. Yeah. So that itself, right, I think everyone, as you pass your journey, right, has their challenges. So here on, right, I'm going to talk about some of the challenges, the struggles, and roadblocks, right, that you face, right, especially as a leadership, right? So what's the biggest roadblock you took, or rather you faced, right, as you took on the leadership role?
So I would say when I joined the company during the initial phase, I do face my fair share of resistance because Greenhorn, who just joined the company, who are like trying to give so many new suggestions, so people will be resistant to what I proposed back then, right? So how overcome them? I would say lead by example, right? Really show them that okay, this can be done, and I can do it, and so can they, right? So like one of the examples is I would say this in the manufacturing sector, we do have this Japanese methodology called the 5S. Yeah, so it's where you sort of like you sort out the things, then you do the processes to clean and ultimately sustain it. Yeah. So of course, when all the senior staff, right, when I implemented it, the senior staff were very reluctant because they feel that they've been doing the same processes, the same thing for like so many years,
right?
Why do they need to listen to me? And so I show them that I show them pictures, show them videos, and I really go down and show them that this can be done this way, like the equipment can be done this way and all that. So every day I go in on and off, go down and remind them, and ultimately they by hook or by crook, no choice or willingly, they still do it. And when I gather their feedback, they were happy and they feel that actually their work processes actually improved.
Right. So that period itself, right, where you're trying to put in new changes, innovative changes, right? Especially as a young chap over there with leadership role, with someone that's so many years in the business. Are there any point in time, right, do you think that actually things are not going as planned, or maybe I want to give up already? Right? You have those times, yes?
Definitely. So it's when during the initial, of course, it took like 4 to 5 months for them to really sink in and to really buy in what I'm trying to propose. Of course, during the first few months, they were reluctant. When you go down, they don't do it. And when you try to bring them along, nag at them and all that, they were still reluctant. And even if they were to do it, they don't seem to be really passionate about what they do. They just feel that they're going through the motion.
But it's tough getting respect from them, isn't it?
Right. That's why during the initial earlier on, I mentioned that to lead by example, so really show them that this can be done, right? And not just instruct them to do that, right? So another example would be more of I would say handling this bad paymaster, right? So when we have to do this small claim, submit this claim to this small claim tribunal. So I didn't know how to do it as well. So initially when I handled it, there's no one to guide me. I have to really figure out and really go down to the place to chat with different people who are there, chat with the officers to go through the process. And when I finally know how to do it, so when a new staff will join us and I need to hand this over to him or her, the staff told me that she does not know how to do it as well, right? Then I said that, okay, if I can do it, I believe I can do it. Why not you learn it? You don't know. I mean, if you don't know, encounter any issues, can look for me.
Yes.
Right. So I have the confidence to say that because I've done it before and
Right.
it can be done.
Right. So leading by example was key then, right, in your leadership transition per se. So now I'm curious because again, second generation, this is your family business, right? And of course you have the family aspect to deal with, right, which is the above stakeholders. How do you deal with them?
Right. So I would say I'm in a fortunate position, right? Because the management, they are willing to take in my ideas. Right? They're willing to try out, toss around, play out to see how it turn out, how things turn out. Right. So I mean I do understand like some face like difficulties like trying to communicate or even not even willing to propose their ideas,
Right.
because they are being rejected so many times. That's why what Tillerson, just now when you asked me, I feel that I'm in a very fortunate position that I have my own free play. I can try out my new ideas, and I'm given a chance to actually realize my potential.
Right.
If I would say that.
I mean, it's true, right? You must be given the opportunity, then you're able to realize it. Right? If there's no platform for you, right, you won't be where you are today. That's for sure.
You.
Yeah. So now, right, bringing that back to you as a person, I'm very certain, right, there are some emotional tolls, right, with all these things happening. How do you cope?
In terms of work or peer-to-peer relationship with my colleagues?
Both, right? Because I think on the peer-to-peer, right, there are some things that you need to cope in terms of mentally, right? There are some things you probably need to tell yourself. But I think today, circumstances, we are looking at mental health, right? So how do you cope on these two aspects then?
Right, I think you bring up a very important point, as well as you see in the news as well. Mental health is becoming a more important question, a more important topic than ever.
Yeah.
Right, I would say the mental toll that comes to me is really not from the company itself, but perhaps it's dealing with external parties where you really have to be very agile and adaptable in dealing with suppliers to your customers.
Right.
In just like what Bruce Lee says, we have to be like water, be like fluid, really go with the flow, but stand firm on your principle, right? So that is what I'm always dealing with, and always trying hard to ensure that this can be done right.
Yeah. So I think you say that you've been very, very fortunate. You think you've been given a lot of chances to actually push out your ideas, right? Were there any circumstances, right, where your ideas, right, was fully rejected? Or perhaps where a certain plan that you wrote out but just didn't go your way?
Right. One of it that didn't turn out as what we planned, perhaps was the one of these I would say machineries that when I saw online is from the description, etc. It looks like it's really efficient and a state of the art, next level kind of equipment.
So it's something that when you bring it in, you will change and transform, a game changer per se.
Yes.
Right.
But having said that, I mean, I persuaded the management to bring in the machine, right? But ultimately, when we set up and when we rolled this out, it didn't turn out well because of the I would say the area or the geographical area that we're in is not ideal, right, as what we anticipated, right? So it ultimately we scrapped, or we decided to leave it aside, and see what we can do about it at a later part in time, right?
So that was a put on hold, and we'll see whether or not what can be done.
Yeah.
So on circumstances like this, right, were there any point in time that you think to yourself that, hey, actually, this is not suitable for me, right? This is something that maybe why am I still doing this? I should be out of this, I should be getting out there doing something else.
Right.
Ever crossed your mind?
Yes, of course. If I were to say no, I will be lying to you, right? So I guess important thing is we ask ourselves, when we make certain decisions at that point in time, is it the best decision that you feel that you have made at that point in time?
Right.
I believe I believe when we make decisions at a certain point in time, it's always based on the circumstantial evidence, right? That you decided that this is the best decision at the point in time.
Yes.
Right. So if you don't have any regrets when you make that decision, then I think you don't need to regret even when you look back. Right.
Well, at least you given yourself a try.
Yes.
Right. And you can prove whether or not that hypothesis really work.
Yes, yeah, right. So if at the point in time you don't make that decision, yes, but if you don't make that decision, looking back, you may regret because you didn't really put in your 100% at that point in time.
Yeah. So now I'm curious, okay, when you put through yourself in such a particular strategy and decision, right, so that you hope the company will have a brighter future, how do you actually motivate your team, right, to actually be aligned with yourself in the future? Because just like you mentioned that, hey, I lead by example, but not many people can see that. Especially when you are a employee over there for many years, right? How do you actually continue to pull them along?
Right. I guess the very important part of being a leader is to be able to give hope and inspire your colleagues, your peers to come along with you.
Right.
So I was sharing with you that most of our staff, they are with us for more than 5 years.
Yes.
Then again, we ask ourselves, if your staff are willing to be with you for long, right? Of course, other than pay-wise, the company culture-wise and all that, they must also be able to see a future with you. And that's why they are willing to be with you and continue this journey, partnership with your company for long, right? So if you ask me, a leader need to inspire. So what I do with them, constantly, of course, I chat with them, how's their well-being, right? Of course, during informal sessions, so what do you hope to achieve in 3 to 5 years time, kind of thing, at least to also know what they aspire, and we can see how we can work towards that goal, right? Of course, for example, we do have a Malaysian colleagues. Right. Yeah, what is their aspiration? Do they really want to attain a certain maybe citizenship maybe in the future? Yeah, then we can see how we can work towards his goal, right? Because he has been working for the company's goal. Yes. But if we don't take care of them, we don't understand what they want, then eventually
they will not take care of the company as well.
Yes. And what Tillerson mentioned, right there, I have this quote from Richard Branson. Right. If the company take care of the employee will take care of the company.
Yes, I've heard of that quote. Very famous quote. So in case if you have not heard this, right, do go and read it up, right? Yeah. So now that we're on leadership style, all right, so let's touch about leadership itself then. So as a leader, what qualities do you think that they are the most critical?
I would say the qualities would be courage.
Courage? Well, and maybe why so as well?
Right, because you have to make difficult decisions that others may not agree with you, right? So, and as a leader, not everyone will agree with you, and it's how you really stand firm in what you believe in. If you are easily swayed by other people's opinion, then how can you then be able to account to yourself to make the right decisions even during difficult times? Right. If you may allow, can I share an example from during World War II? World War II, this is a story, right? So during World War II, there's I forgot which battle, but during at the point in time, this Prime Minister Winston Churchill, in order to save the rest of the battalion, he has to sacrifice a small unit to distract this enemy fire, right, from the main battalion so that he can save them.
So main battalion can escape lah.
Yes. Right. So he has to divert the enemy fire to this unit, so that this unit. But ultimately, he knew that this unit will sacrifice the whole of them, maybe a few hundred of them. Right. He has to make that difficult decision. If not, the rest of the battalion, a few thousand of them, they will perish. Yes. Right. So a leader has to make these kind of decisions. Right. Whether is it ethically right or wrong, that's up to history to judge. But leader has to really be accountable to himself and to the rest of the people who are following him. Right. So with this example, I really feel that there's really no right or wrong answer, but have to be stand firm and be
That's where the courage comes in.
Yes, yes.
What other qualities?
Right. Another one that just now I remembered, courage and this.
I'm sorry, I broke his chain of thought. When I said to explain courage.
Yeah. Courage. I would say maybe is discipline.
Discipline?
If you may allow me to say so.
Okay.
Because discipline, I think discipline is the real differentiator between the successful and the not so successful.
Okay.
I wouldn't say failure, but not so successful. Because we just talk about the hay and this tortoise story, right?
Yes, yes.
The hay can be really fast and nimble and can easily win the race against this tortoise. But we all know the tortoise eventually won the race.
Yes.
Why? Right. So, discipline. Tortoise, no matter how slow it's moving, it continues to move. Unlike the hay who feels that he has already achieved the halfway mark and relaxed at one corner. Right. So discipline. And discipline is really what differentiates, I would say, two persons with equal abilities. Right. Yeah. So even a two individual who has the same ability.
That's why you don't have discipline, right? You will never reach your end goal.
Yes.
Just because you are complacent, you are lazy, right? You probably won't reach it.
Yes.
So that said, right, coming back to the leadership position, they say that a leader and an entrepreneur, right, it's a very lonely position. What do you have to say about that?
I will agree as well. And that's why I'm involved in a few trade associations, right, to really get to learn and share, I would say, like experiences with one another, and so that we can be a better self, right, with more ideas. Because they always say that 1,000 brains definitely is better than one brain, right? So we can think better and come up with better strategies, right? Just now you mentioned that being a leader is a lonely journey together, right? So you always ask yourself, do you want to be the 1% or the 99%? Right. Of course, you can be the 99% where you have a lot of friends, right? But if you are 99%, means you're also enjoying what 99% of them they are doing.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Or you want to be the 1% who is lonely, but you're enjoying that 1% that only that 1% is enjoying.
Yeah. I hear you. So now that you have touched on this topic, right, and it just raised to two very interesting topics that I want to deep dive in. The first one, right, is on networking, and second one is on mentorship.
Okay.
Right. So let's talk about networking. So in case our viewers out there do not know, right, Wayne is an executive committee, right, for the Bosses Network Young chapter. Is that right?
Yes.
Right, and as well as the executive committee, right, for the Youth Business and Sustainability Committee under the Singapore Chinese Chambers, or what's the last chamber? And Commerce, right. Yeah, and so SCCI. Yeah. So Singapore Chinese Chamber and Commerce and Industry. Right. So he's as an executive committee over there. Right. And on top of that, he's also the executive committee for the Singapore Contractors Association.
Yep.
Why? Why is networking so important? Why so many associations?
Right. Then I need to begin this topic with a quote. Your net worth is your network.
Okay.
Sorry. I need to repeat. Your network is your net worth.
Yeah.
Right. So there's this research that really shows that your net worth is plus minus 10% of whom are around you.
Right.
Right. So this is by research, not by me.
Okay.
So why network is important? Because you get to learn from so many more people. Right. For myself, I will also encounter people who are more very senior in the industry, right? So of course, with their wealth of experience, we can learn from them instead of doing it on our own, paying our own school fees. And important thing, we are utilizing our time, right? Because there are 20, 30 years of experience with that 1 or 2 hours or even a short period of time, we are able to absorb whatever they're going to share with you, rather than you spend the same 10, 20, 30 years and get to where they are today, right? So you can actually do a shortcut and learn from them.
Yeah. So this is exactly why this whole podcast, right, is all about, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. So that said, right, from learning from them, what about peers learning then? Because I'm sure, right, in those chapters, there are people who are 30 over years, but there are also people who are like you, right? 10 over years, or some of them even younger, 5 years or less, right? How does it help you?
Right. So I still have one more quote to add for the
Yes, please.
for the previous topic where you say 20, 30 years people in the industry. So there's a quote where they say the successful people learn from their own mistake.
Right.
The more successful people learn from other people's mistake. Right. But the most successful people, they learn from other people's success.
Right.
Right. So yes, you can learn on your own. Yeah, but the time. Do you have the time? So you rather learn from other people's success than you do a real shortcut to where they are today. So that's very important. So just how Tilison asked about this learning from our peers of our age, maybe our range.
Yeah.
Right. So what else can we learn from there? I would guess it's really more of a peer support where you know that what you're going through, they went through or they're going through as well. And what they're going through, you will be going through or you have went through within this short span of time. Right. So I guess it's a peer support. And earlier on we talked about being a leader or being in the industry, being lonely because your peers, I mean, even though they are your friends, right? But you may not be able to really communicate and they may not understand what you're going through as well because you guys are in different realms.
Yes.
Different I would say different things that
different stage in life per se.
Yeah, or different things that you need to take care of.
Yeah.
Right? So your concerns are different. Where your concerns are maybe, company's bottom line or your staff, HR policies, well, their concerns are different from yours. So by having peers who are in these same positions as you're able to share and they're also able to also empathize with you and able to come up with, also able to share what they are doing, what their improved solutions are, and they're able to share with you and what inspirations you're able to get from what they share with you as well.
Right. So, okay, I'm also going to jump out here a little bit, right? Because now you got me very curious. As a second generation, right, will there be any circumstances where people say, hey, actually, you had it easy, like your second generation, and your whole path has been carved out for you, where you are today, right? It's not because of you, it's because of your parents and all. Yes, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
And how does it make you feel?
Right. So maybe I can start off this with saying that I'm a 富二代. But not the 富. It's the 负债的负.
负债的负, return. So to our Chinese, non-Chinese people, is the 负 is, so there's two 负's over here. The normal 富二代 here is the second generation, the wealthy second generation. Right? So what Wayne mentioned, right, the 富, right, it's a return. Right. So correct me if I'm wrong, my Chinese isn't that well, but yeah.
Very right on point, right? So 富 as in we are here to contribute back, right? So of course, when my friends, people around me, yes, they gave these remarks.
Yeah.
So, but ultimately, what I try to, so time will tell. Right, time will tell that whether am I as what they perceived, and as I also shared with them, if I'm not credible and if I don't have my worth, my value, I wouldn't be able to stay in the industry for a long while,
right?
This long, and the market I also won't be able to survive,
Yes.
And because the market is so small in the business world, people will know, right? Like what sort of person I am in the industry. So yeah, that's what I've got to say. I'm a 富二代.
So there you go, gentlemen. Not so easy, right? Taking over a family business after all, right? So that's it. Now I'm going to move it towards to the other component that I mentioned earlier, right? Which is mentorship, right? Because I think you are pretty much lucky, right? When you talk about 富二代, right? That's where you have a absolute mentor there, right? That's for sure, right? How does it help you in your career growth? That's one.
Right. So mentorship is really important because it provides a guiding light to where you want to go. And for example, when you are lost, you are able to find your direction very quickly as compared to a lot of people who do not have like their mentors. They will, or they may even waste more time trying to find their direction. So yeah, our mentor, that's what Tilison mentioned. So we have a ready-made mentor available. And mentor is someone who I would say provide you with advice, right? And a lot that there's a misconception that mentors is there to instruct you or to tell you what to do. But I would say mentor is very much like a facilitator, right? Trying to find out like what are your wants, or rather what you aspire, and how can and pinpoint your blind spot. I think that's very important, right?
Okay, so that is a
and don't expect mentors to give you answers, right? Because they're there to actually facilitate and not there to give you the answer to what you want.
Yeah. So that's it. Bring that back, right, to the different networking sessions that you have. Because that's where you also seek external mentor, and that's exactly as we mentioned, right? Learning from people who are successful. So here I would like to pose a question to you: is do you have a certain set of mentors that you actively look out for? Or it does so happen that when you meet them and say, hey, actually this person not too bad, maybe I should seek him for mentorship help.
Right. Very good question. So for mentorship wise, I do not have like a specific group of mentors, but it's always more of when I attend networking sessions or attend different sharing sessions, and when we speak, when we converse, and of course we really need to see whether are we on the same page,
right?
Values, our this I would say like do we fall in love? Do we fall in love at first sight?
Right.
Love at first sight.
That's where the chemistry builds in, right?
Right. So I guess ultimately, if we're able to click, right, then we can continue this conversation. And I mean, I do know some I would say senior bosses whom we still kept in touch, and of course whenever I need help, and I would just give them a text, and we just meet up for consultation in a way, for informal chit chat, right? So. And also it really depends on how you carry yourself, like how you portray yourself, and for others to be comfortable with you as well.
Okay.
Right. And I think important thing needs to have needs to be comfortable with both sides, and we can carry on this relationship.
Right. So when you talk about mentorship, right, I'm very sure there are also other pillars of strength that people give to you, right? So is there any other pillars of strength that throughout your whole career journey, right, are always there supporting you, ensuring that you're always in the right path? They are not even in the industry.
Right, I would say friends. So friends and family, they're really important. Because sometimes what you need is really just someone there to hear you out, or someone just there beside you, their presence. You don't really need them to understand you, to understand what you're going through, but someone just there, their presence, to be there. You know that they're the cornerstone where wherever you are down, they're there to just be there and don't talk, just be there.
just be by your side, right?
Yes.
Supporting you, someone like your wife or even a very, very close friends.
Yes.
Yeah, so there you go, guys, right? For you to start out successful, you need to find a very strong pillar behind you, supporting you, and this can be a family member, friends, a business mentor, even a non-business mentor, or even a partner.
Yes,
right? Well,
totally.
That's awesome.
And there's a saying that goes, right? A successful man, behind every successful man, there is like a woman, right? So
a very supportive woman.
A very supportive woman. Yeah. So really need to all guys out there who are still single, please find pillar of support, pillar of strength.
There you go, right? Advice from the man himself, right? That's a very powerful piece of advice. Yeah. So when you say that right now, I'm curious because I'm very certain that as a leader, as a entrepreneur, there is meant to have some sacrifice done. What's the toughest sacrifice you have ever done?
This is a tough question. I would say so far, I'm fortunate enough to not have to make any tough decisions that perhaps against my ethics or principle, right? But I would guess, but what I would say is whatever tough decision that you have to make, just bear in mind that do not make any decisions that is against your own principle or against your own belief. Right. Do not go against your own conscience. I think that's very important. Yeah.
So that's it, right? I would like to check in with you, was, as I mentioned previously, the way you spoke about the business was full of passion. So my question to you is, what role does passion plays in entrepreneurship, right? And actually, how does our young people out there, right, find theirs?
All right. Fair enough. So I guess it's just like when you go dating, falling in love. Passion, you need to have passion before you go into something. That's very important. But having said that, I mean, we are all Singaporeans. We have this sense of practicality that's always in our mind. The Chinese saying that goes, 爱情不可以当饭吃. So
爱情不可以当饭吃.
Yeah,
Right?
so-
So in translation, right? Let me help you translate here. Right? So love cannot bring you 爱情不能当饭吃. Love cannot bring you food on the table.
Yeah,
or rather,
fair enough. Yeah.
pretty much is a direct translation,
Yeah.
right? Or rather, love cannot feed you lah. Yeah, in a
Yeah.
short, in a very nice niche to that.
Sorry to say this, but I mean, of course, to all those who believe in love, yeah, you may hate me. I mean, we are just being practical here. So, having said that, so
By the way, this is love for the business and not love for the partner, right?
yeah, totally. Thanks for clarifying. We're not in some cubic session.
Yeah.
So, we're talking about is passion. You need passion to really start whatever project that you want to get in, right? But passion can only bring you so far.
Yes.
Ultimately, it's dollar and cents and your strategy, your roadmap moving forward that can bring you far, right? So back to Tidison's question, right? So passion can get you started, but you really also need to maybe equip yourself with the relevant skill sets, upgrade yourself, or even seek mentorship,
Right.
seek advice from people in the industry and all that to really be competent in what you're doing, like managing your cash flow, quantitative aspect, qualitative aspect, to really be sustainable in this business.
Right. I mean, with that said, I'm very curious also. What is the common mistakes, right, that you think that young entrepreneurs usually make, and how do they avoid it?
Perhaps being young, full of zest and energy, you really want to go all out, right, in bringing your company to grow as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Right. That's not wrong, but growing too fast can be your...
Pitfall as well.
Yes. Right. So it could be cash flow issues, right? It could be a lack of control, right? Because you're growing too fast.
Right.
Being unable to catch up. And it can also be the case where we are being young and sometimes not experienced enough, naive, easily, believing in something easily, right? So there are so many, I would say, common pitfalls or common mistakes that young entrepreneurs made so far, right?
Yeah. So with that said, right, what's one thing that you wish that someone have told you earlier in your career, right, as you start off in this business world?
Someone who told me is perhaps to really major in something relevant to engineering.
Because you didn't have an engineering background, right? I believe.
So I majored in business administration. So back then, I was still young and I thought that business administration was the in thing and I should be getting into it.
Yeah.
Right. So
you believe that actually studying for the industry does helps you play a additional advantage to the industry that you want to enter. Is that right?
in a way, perhaps give me a certain skill set, a specialized skill set in something that I can be really good at. Right.
So now let's play a bit of a turn back time kind of scenario, right? Turn back time, right? What was the one thing that you hope that you can change or start off differently?
I think so far to this point in life, I'm quite satisfied with whatever I have.
Awesome.
Or you can say that maybe I don't have a big ambition or what, but I think everything, I have no regrets living this life so far till now. Yeah, because of course not everything like go according to what I wish for, but
yes,
I'll say so far I have no regrets. Like I'm healthy and everybody's my family members, everyone, my peers, all that. Yeah, they are fine and they are all living a comfortable and okay life. So yeah, do I have to? Can I say this? Yeah,
yes. Actually, that was exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
right?
because
I think it's your answer. There's no right or wrong.
Yeah, because
to that.
I don't want to give some answer that is not my. Yeah.
It is. I totally agree with you.
Yeah,
so
I think I'm satisfied.
I think that's awesome because
Contented.
I think not many people are contented to where they are.
Fair enough. I think you can say that because I don't have ambition, like this kind of ambition.
I can't say you have no ambition because I think you did very well for your family business, right? Sure, you have no ambition, then you won't be doing all the innovative things that you're doing for the company.
Fair enough. I mean, if that is what you say.
Yeah, because in case of viewers out there, right, in case you don't know, Wayne actually did a lot of very innovative things to the company. He changes a lot of their processes, right, so that the company could actually gain a lot more profits in that sense.
I would say it's a team effort. Yeah, one man can only do so much, right? So together with the team, right, we can achieve more. So I mean, team TEAM, right? This is a short form for something longer.
Okay.
So together, everyone achieves more, right? So that's team. That's what a team is about.
Right. Yeah. So now let me ask a little bit more futuristic then. Right. So looking ahead, right? I want to check in with you. What is something that you think that is more exciting for you in the near future, right? And perhaps what should the young entrepreneurs, right, should pay attention to?
I think young entrepreneurs should really find just now we talk about passion, but really find what they like and try out what they like, right? So first, of course, they will have no regrets moving forward.
Yeah.
And of course, when they look out for what they like, they should also look into what is in need for them in the future. Is that potential, right? So if you have a passion, what you like, and your potential, when you combine these two, then I think you don't worry for the rest of your life.
So with that said, right, I think you mentioned that the young ones should have that two combined together. But however, in this today rapidly changing world, right, they need to adapt, right? How do you adapt? Because at the start of our podcast, we did mention that the companies has adapted with new innovation and all. How important is this adaptability?
Right, because we say change is the only constant, right? Then if you don't change, you will be changed.
Wow, that's powerful. Okay.
Right. So of course, for us, we emphasize on this continuity, and we emphasize in becoming a better self than yesterday. Right. So for us, we always strive to do things that others can't. Right. So for example, in our factory, we the conventional machines are able to do up to 3 meters length.
Right.
Yeah. So for us, we actually can do up to double that length, which is 6 meter.
Wow.
Right. So for us, we do things that others can't do, and also we do things that others are unwilling to do. Right. For example, we are also doing I would say not so high value items where maybe other competitors they may feel that it's not maybe that worthy of their time. Right. But we do as well because we find that we are offering a whole range of solutions.
So always keep it out of the box.
Yes, always keep it out of the box.
Right, rather than keep it on a norm.
Yes, yeah. So by doing that, you can also capture a bigger pool of customers.
Yeah.
And also we are able to do things that others are unable to do, not willing to do, and don't want to do.
Okay.
All right. Others that don't want to do because these items may be bigger items that is very bulky and more cumbersome to handle, right? So but we do that as well. Right. So to summarize, what is the 3 sentences that I just said, how you earn money. Right, it's these 3.
These are the key powerful phrases.
Yeah, right. Only here that I'm sharing with you.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you miss it, you might want to rewind back, right? That's 10 seconds ago, right? What have you just said?
Yeah.
Right. We are not gonna repeat here, so they can rewind back.
Right, and it's a $1 million answer.
Yeah.
And now we are providing free of charge.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen out there. So with that, right, in all our guests that come to this podcast here, right, this interview per se, I will always ask them, right, if there's one word that you will give to all the inspiring young entrepreneurs out there, what will it be and why?
I would say courage, right? Because courage is a really word that can propel you forward and really also carry you forward in times of when you're during the difficult times. And also allow you to be who you really are when others don't believe in you and you still believe in yourself. And this is what that truly reflects your true self, I would say.
Awesome, one word, right? Courage, that's the word, right? So before we wrap up, right, our whole session with him, right, maybe Wayne, I'll invite you to look at this camera, right, and probably leave some piece of advice to the young entrepreneurs out there, right, that can carry with their journey. Or any other words that you like to leave to them.
Right, to all the young entrepreneurs out there, right, I have a quote for you from our late Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, right? So, to the old and not so, and to the young and not so old, right? Look at the horizon, right? Look at the rainbow, go ride it. So the future is bright. Yeah, chase your dream.
Thank you very much, Wayne. As we wrap up this episode, we want to thank Wayne for sharing his incredible journey with us, from the challenges of stepping into a family business to the inspiring climb back to success. His story is a powerful reminder to all of us that perseverance, resilience, and a very clear vision can turn even the toughest obstacle into just stepping stones. Wayne, your insights and advice will surely resonate with all our young entrepreneurs out there and anyone looking to make their mark in the business world. Once again, thank you very much for your time and for inspiring us today. I hope this podcast has ignited your mission. Do join us for more no bullshit stories from successful individuals on Mission Ignite. See ya. Hi guys, thank you for listening. If you like what you have just heard, follow us for more content like this.